The lobby went silent as the bank manager echoed, laced with disdain. This isn't the place for people like you. Try somewhere more in your range." All eyes turned to the sharply dressed black man standing at the counter, briefcase in hand, dignity intact. He gave a slow, calm smile, not out of amusement, but because she had no idea who she had just insulted. Within 45 minutes, armored trucks would arrive, bank vaults would open, and the once confident manager would sob in disbelief. Her arrogance had just cost the bank $1.7 billion, and her career. Jordan Elias was no stranger to being underestimated. As a successful wealth strategist, he had built a private financial trust worth $1.7 billion, investing in underrepresented communities and funding initiatives for equality. Quiet and strategic, Jordan avoided the spotlight, letting his impact speak louder than fame ever could. On a gray Thursday morning, Jordan walked into one of the branches of Darrow and Eastman National Bank, his bank. He needed to authorize a rare, large transfer for an emergency housing project. Though most of his dealings were digital, he believed in showing up in person for matters of great importance. He wore a crisp suit, carried no bodyguards, and waited in line like everyone else. But the moment he reached the counter, everything shifted. Wait a second and tell us where you're watching from in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. A young teller looked up at him, eyes flickering with suspicion rather than service. She asked him to wait for the branch manager. A few minutes later, Dana Hargrove emerged from a glass office, her smile tight and forced. "Eels," she said, standing rather than offering him a seat. Jordan calmly explained that he was here to authorize a transaction from the Elias Development Trust. Her expression changed. Mock disbelief clouded her face. "I'm sorry, Mr. Elias," she said, sarcasm heavy in her voice. "But this trust account isn't something just anyone can access. We take impersonation attempts seriously." He politely handed her his ID and credentials. She glanced at them, barely registering the name, before muttering, "Key IDs get more elaborate every year." Jordan asked her to call the verification line on his paperwork. Still, she waved him off and gestured to security. "Sort him out. We don't have any scams here." As the guard moved toward him, Jordan stood tall. "You'll want to make that call. Ms. Hargrove, for your sake." He scoffed, turned her back, and walked away. Exactly 6 minutes later, her office phone rang. It was the regional vice president, then the senior vice president, and then the CEO. 3 calls in 3 minutes. Her face drained of color. Her hands trembled as she picked up the paperwork Jordan had given her. "His development trust," she whispered, realizing the name. He wasn't a scammer. He was one of the bank's most potent clients. Technically, the trust had more liquid capital than the branch itself. What came next was a series of events the staff would never forget. Jordan calmly stepped outside to take a call. Within minutes, 2 armored trucks pulled into the parking lot. Under his authority, the trust withdrew every cent from that branch. Nearly $1.7 billion. Dana tried to apologize, to fix it, but it was too late. The money was already gone. Dana Hargrove was fired on the spot, as were the 2 security guards and the teller who refused to help. A memo was sent to every branch of the bank. Discrimination will not be tolerated by clients or staff. Jordan did not need revenge and was not trying to destroy anyone. However, actions have consequences. In this case, disrespect has a very expensive price tag. The funds were transferred to a smaller black-owned bank that always treated J.J. Jordan's foundation respectfully. That same week, Jordan announced a new initiative to provide financial education and startup loans for young entrepreneurs of color. Word of the incident went viral, not because Jordan posted it, but because someone in the bank lobby had filmed. The moment the armored trucks arrived, the clip trended with the caption, "Stayed calm, they lost everything." Jordan Elias became a quiet icon of dignity, justice, and the power of influence handled with grace. His story was about money and how wrong assumptions can cost more than anyone is prepared to pay. Sometimes the most potent statements are not to be shouted, they are signed, sealed, and withdrawn. If you enjoyed this story and found it thought-provoking, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful narratives. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.